Now we are moving on to something that is a very exciting but also extremely dangerous. So as we move on to attacks below the waist, Ashi Garami, which in other words, leg entanglements or leg attacks, we have to make sure that we're understanding the full level of the severity of what could go right and what could go wrong when we're in these situations. So not only could I cause a lot of damage to somebody when I have a leg attack, I could also destroy my own legs by just turning the wrong way in the wrong situation. And that being said, if we're rolling with somebody who is also naive in legs and you put them in a leg attack and they roll the wrong way, they can hurt themselves. So we have to make sure that everybody who is involved here understands the nuance of the severity of leg entanglements and leg attacks. So make sure that as we dive into this, that we're taking it very slow. All right, we're taking the advice on how to capture legs and catch and release, understanding what how our partner knows how to advance from getting caught into these precarious situations. Okay, and as we move forward, you're gonna hear online a lot of different words for these leg entanglements, and I'm just gonna break it down to something that I've created that's very simple to follow. And as all these Japanese names bounce off the internet, I'm going to kind of explain what they mean, and let's just go ahead and move forward from there. So Ashi Garami literally means leg entanglement. So as you see people, they entangle their legs in order to isolate, create pressure, and then torque as they go for a break in the joints, whether in the knees, the ankles, or the hips. That we clarify that as Ashi Garami. Okay, any sort of leg entanglement. You hear a lot of people saying senkaku, and senkaku literally means triangle. San, is the Japanese name for 3, kaku for angle, I believe, or points. I can't remember. Regardless, senkaku means triangle. So, like, a lot of people will consider this like inside senkaku, even though they might not necessarily be in a triangle situation. So I kind of don't utilize that term. I use the term entanglement. So for example, our legs are entangled. That's an easy way to say leg entanglement, Ashi Garami. Okay? So for example, this is called inside Ashi. And I'm going to break this all down very easy. Inside Ashi, inside leg entanglement, outside Ashi, okay? Outside leg entanglement. All right? A lot of people call this the honey hole, the saddle. Scooch this way a little bit for me. And there's so many names for these things that it's almost getting out of control. So let's just, for the sake of vocabulary in this course, just utilize Ashi and then where the foot or the heel is. So in this case, I'm in inside Ashi because my legs are on the inside and the heel is on the inside. So inside Ashi, inside heel. Okay? Now, if I were to move his leg right here to the outside, now I still have inside Ashi, and these legs, right, there's going to be a bunch of different ways you entangle this, maybe, capturing this leg to make things worse, but he's just going to keep his leg out of the way so you guys can see. But this is inside Ashi because the entanglement's inside, but the heel is on the outside of my body. So inside Ashi, outside heel. All right? Now, let's move on to outside Ashi. So outside Ashi, right, and I'm going to do this on both sides, but now my leg entanglement's on the outside of the hips, but he's got an inside heel. And now another very popular name for this is 50-50 because he has me in the exact same position. All right? So I'm going to do that on the other side. So right here, outside Ashi, inside heel, otherwise known as 50-50. All right? Because he's got the same amount of offense and defense as I have. All right? Now, this one is pretty nasty, but outside Ashi and outside heel right here. Okay? So my leg entanglement is still on the outside, and now his heel is on the outside. All right? So outside Ashi, outside heel can be pretty devastating, pretty easy to get the heel exposed, and lots of pressure, downward pressure on the knee. Okay? One more time. Inside Ashi, inside heel, sometimes called the honey hole, or the saddle or a bunch of other things. If I were to move this to the outside, all right, this has a few different names as well, all right, like Z-locks and things like this, but for the sake of our vocabulary, inside Ashi, outside heel, all right? Now, we go to the 50-50, which is outside Ashi, inside heel, and then the last one, just for this sake, is outside Ashi, outside heel. So those are the 4 basic areas we can get into when it comes to how we derive the rest of the leg entanglements. Okay? And there's one caveat to that, which is my single leg X, where my entire body has isolated just one of his legs, kind of like the same way we do an arm bar, and this is called single leg X. Even though it technically is an Ashi Garami, a leg entanglement, we refer to this one as single leg X, and this is actually going to be the submission that we're going to be focused on for this lesson, all right, as we go into what to do offensively and what to do defensively, okay? So, one thing that I do right away with my new students is I'll put them in an Ashi, right? Pretty much anyone. So let's say I were to go to the basic honey hole, inside Ashi, inside heel. This is very popular, right? And I go in here to grab a heel. And what I do, yeah, see, he's already tapping, is I tell him very slowly move one way or the other, and so he can see, because right now what might seem natural will actually pop out his knee. So go ahead and start twisting and turning. Go ahead, yeah, and start twisting and turning to feel back and forth, twist to feel. See, like that might alleviate pressure or it might build pressure. He tries to twist the other way, right? And that might hurt. And so you can start, as this person, you can start to feel the pressure building as you turn. And then they might start to understand the gravity of the situation that their knee is in, okay? And so at my gym, we do something, a lot of people call catch and release, right? Is where I get this, and the second I lock it in, or the second he feels it locked in, he taps, right? To not deal with the injury. And then we say, hey, I would like to work on the defense from here. What's my next best step? Okay? And for example, go ahead and get me in Ashi. So he gets me into Ashi, and I'm battling, I'm fighting. He finally gets to the heel exposure, like lean in and yeah, grab my heel. Yeah, he gets in here, and so before he even starts cranking, I tap. So, okay, you got me. He gets the satisfaction of getting the tap. I tapped, I get to stay safe. Now I say, hey, like, what were you about to do with that one? And he said he was about to either hip in or turn to the side. I said, can I work on that defense now? And now that he's already got it, it's like, okay, ready, go. And now I can start working on whatever defense I'm working on, whether it's getting my foot involved, whether it's slipping the heel or getting my other leg involved, whatever that may be. So, especially when you're new, if anybody gets you in any sort of leg entanglement and you like, I don't know what's going on, the best option is to stay safe, right? When in doubt, tap, okay? And when in doubt, tap early, all right? Because these leg entanglements, you have no idea. This is safe, and 1 inch this way is a broken, like, ligament, a torn ligament. And we don't want that. So the other scary thing about this is it might not be that painful. It's like not that painful, and all of a sudden an explosion, right? A lot of the time with like the arm bars, when our arm's twisting out, it's like, oh, we can kind of feel how far we can go, and it hurts, and like an acceleration that's appropriate to how your arm's getting bent. Unfortunately with these, it's like no pain, extreme pain, right? So it does a big jump. So we don't really want to flirt too much with where that threshold is, where the precipice of having a functioning knee and not having a functioning knee, right? We don't want to put ourselves and dance on that tightrope. Tap early, especially when you're training in here, all right? Tap early and, I said training in here. Tap early all the time. In competition, they're trying to throw that. They're not going to sit there and stop for you. So tap early all the time, okay? But when you're in the training room, you're with people that you trust, like tap early, ask, hey, how could I have gotten out of that? Or what would be my next immediate defense? Okay? And then all of a sudden, it's going to be some automatic responses. Like, as you get in there, you're going to know how to hide the heel. You're going to know how to move through or use your other leg to smash through, or even use your other leg to help assist you in preventing the full heel grasp. But I think any smart black belt out there, pretty much everyone I've seen has made the same suggestion where it's like tap early, figure it out. Knees don't heal quickly. They're devastating, okay? Like you can have your ankle pop, you can have your elbows pop, your wrist pop, and generally they heal pretty quickly, okay? And I'm not giving you the advice to like allow these, I'm not sitting here giving you the advice to like allow things to pop, but I'm saying if they do pop, right? You can flirt a little bit with that precipice of danger. However, when it comes to knees, most of us are saying don't mess around with it. Very dangerous. Know your limits and tap way before them, because you don't want to mess around with something that can get you out of the game for 6 to 12 months or maybe even longer, and then the recovery time on top of that. So I know it's a lot of us just like keeping you safe, but it's got to be said. All right, tap early, and then on your opponent who doesn't know what they're doing, catch and release. Get it. If they start twisting the wrong way, just let it go. Know in your head that you have it, right? But with your training partners, do your best to keep them safe, and don't get the tap just because you need the ego trip to get the tap. All right, keep everyone safe. Keep everybody in the nuance of what's going on. Okay, so the 2 different ashis, inside and outside, with the 2 different options for where the heels are, gives us 4 options of these attacks, 4 options of these entanglements. And from there, we have heel hooks, we have knee bars, we have toe holds, and so on and so forth. So let me go ahead and start explaining the different types of submissions that we have on the legs, and then we'll go into a very specific Ashi Garami, which is the single leg X, how to submit from there, the different options of submitting from that angle, as well as the defenses or the immediate responses. And you guys know I like an automatic response. Build that automatic response. When someone drops in on a straight ankle, have an automatic response that's going to prevent you from getting that immediate tap, giving you a second to think, evaluate, and then proceed with the correct response. So